All right, we are live on the Coach Eli television network, YouTube, Facebook, and D Live. Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. Glad you could all join me here tonight on this Monday evening to start off the brand new week. I hope your brand new week has started off well. It is Monday, August 16th, 2021. And if you're watching this on the replay, once this show ends, or tomorrow, or next week, or next month, or even next year, there's still going to be tremendous value for you to watch this all the way through, because the majority of my streams, including this one, have a lot of replay value, also known as evergreen content. So just because I do most of my content live doesn't mean it's only good while it's live. I cater my content for the replay as well. And that's something, if you're a YouTuber or a live streamer on other platforms that also have a live stream replay, unlike D Live, D Live does have a live stream replay, but they delete it after 3 days if you choose to use it. If you're on YouTube, you want to create your live streams with evergreen content type of value. And hey, we're not here to talk about that tonight. We have another great topic to discuss. But before we get to that, let me first of all make sure that the YouTube notification has gone out. And it absolutely has. And let me also check out the back end of YouTube and make sure that it is rolling smoothly. And it absolutely is. Facebook seems to be rolling smoothly on the back end. And same with the live. Queen is here. The Queen is here. So that means YouTube should be working well. Things are rolling smoothly on YouTube, right, Queen? So I'll have to check it out. Let me just check out Facebook and the live real quick on the front end. I'm not seeing myself on the news feed, so I'm going to have to go to my timeline. Here we go. I'm not seeing myself on the news feed, so I'm going to have to go to my timeline. Okay, let's check out D Live. Here we go. Okay, let's check out D Live. Oh yeah. Here we go. D Live. It sounds cool. But I wish they would add more functionality to the D Live platform. It would, like I've been saying all along, it would be in great competition with YouTube if they added more functionality to it. But hey, it is what it is. All right, folks, let's get right to it tonight because I've been working a little overtime lately. I've been doing a lot of streams and putting out a lot of content. And tonight is going to be a short but sweet stream, probably about an hour and a half max. I'm going to discuss the topic here. I'm going to give my thoughts in a brief overview, or known as a monologue. And then I have a couple of Reddit postings to go through regarding this topic, and one of the Reddit postings even has a very interesting article attached that the Reddit forum is responded to. But the topic of tonight's show is, why are men not committing, and what do women have to offer nowadays? One more time. Why are men not committing? And what do women have to offer nowadays? Okay. Pretty interesting topic, right? Pretty interesting topic that both men and women have been wondering about in the modern world. Women are wondering why men are not committing. These women say, okay, we have our stuff together. We make our own money. We have our own homes. We have all this and that. We just want to find a man that can accept us and appreciate us for what we've made ourselves to be. On the flip side, okay, men are acknowledging that, and we actually understand that, we appreciate that and respect that, but that's not what we look for in a woman. We've never looked at a woman for her monetary value. We've always looked at a woman. Men have always looked at a woman as, what type of benefit is she bringing into my life? Okay. Is she complimenting my life? Is she making my life easier? Is she sweet and soft spoken? Is she nurturing? Is she kind? Is she, genuine? Is she submissive? Is she feminine? Right? That's what attracts real men to women. But on the flip side, like I was saying, women want us to like them for what they bring to the table, which is great. We're not saying as men that we don't appreciate that, but that is not what attracts us to women. And I think that's where women are misunderstanding why men are not committing. When I talk to women through online dating or in person, when it happens, right? And I'm talking to a woman and I'm starting to get to know her. Okay. The last thing I want to hear about is what she does for a living. Now, I do want to know what she does for a living. And if she briefly mentions it, that would be great. I may even ask her, what do you do for a living, right? All I'm looking for is for her to briefly tell me, I'm a veterinarian. I'm a doctor. I'm an attorney. I am a social worker, right? And I really enjoy what I do. I'm not looking for her to start reading off her resume to me when I'm talking with her on the phone to get to know her. What I'm more interested in is the type of personality she has. Is she a sweet, soft-spoken, easygoing, feminine woman, or is she one of these dominant, controlling, masculine-sounding type of women? Okay? That's all men care about. Ladies, to be honest with you, that's all we care about. Now, granted, again, we do want you to have your stuff together. And in this modern world where women are liberated, okay, and they're working and, they're independent, yes, we do want you to have your own stuff. But we don't want you to focus the purpose of being with us, projecting that stuff, or making us aware that we've got this, right? So you should accept us, right? That's not what men look for. Now, it was interesting. I mentioned a few days ago the best app in 2021 regarding relationships is Hinge. And I've been using Hinge now for probably almost 2.5 weeks. And, I've made some good connections on there. But again, it's like any other dating app. I have a lot of open conversations that are kind of stagnant right now, right? And, it's all about the numbers game. You want to get on the app, pay for the premium package, and like as many women that you're attracted to. You like their pictures, you like what they wrote. It should be a combination of both, right? And when I was looking at some profiles earlier today, I came across this one profile and I took a screenshot. And I'm going to show you this here. I'm going to show this to you here. It's on my phone. I mean, this woman's name is Ash. It doesn't matter. Her pictures wouldn't populate. Okay, here's where it's at, right? Look what it says right there. It says, we'll get along if you're a radical leftist and intersectional feminist like me. I had to take a screenshot of that, and earlier today, I sent that screenshot to the Coach Eli mod crew that's in a private group forum on Google Chat, formerly known as Google Hangouts. If you haven't made the transition from Hangouts to Chat, do it, because Hangouts will be going away very soon. All of your contacts and connections will transfer over to Google Chat from Google Hangouts Chat automatically, as long as you're signed into the same, Google account. But yeah, she writes, we'll get along if you're a radical leftist and intersectional feminist like me. Ma'am, I'm wondering why your pictures don't show up, or did you not put any pictures? Or has the site not approved your pictures because they were inappropriate? Now, if you don't know what an intersectional feminist is, let me read you the definition, right? I took a clip from it on Google, and there it is right there. Okay, that's what it is right there, right? Let's get a little closer there. What a great camera! It's so clear, right? What is an intersectional feminist? Intersectional feminism is a form of feminism that stands for the rights and empowerment of all women. Isn't that just what regular feminism stands for? Why do we need to make a big deal out of something that just is what it is? I'm a man that has never, disrespected women having equal rights. And most men are like this, right? We're like, okay, cool. Women have been liberated. Women are independent. They have equal rights. They have the rights now to do everything that once only men had the right to do. That's great. We're all for that, right? It should have always been like that. And men throughout the history of time have never projected. Now they do because of feminism, but before feminism, BF, let's call it BF, like BC, before Christ, all that stuff, right? BF, before feminism, men were just known to do what men do, and women were known to do just what women do, right? So men would never project or flex their muscles. I am man, woman, hear me roar, right? Now, there were some guys that were like that, but they were a little cuckoo, but the majority of men would just be men and do their thing. Nowadays, okay, you have women coming out here with the same rights now, which most normal men like myself, we're totally cool with that. But that's not good enough for these women. They need to flex their muscles. So again, intersectional feminism is a form of feminism that stands for the rights and empowerment of all women. Okay, I'm all for that. Why do we need to make more of a big deal out of it than it already is? It is what it is. Taking seriously the fact of differences among women, including different identities based on radicalization, which is radical feminism, which I don't agree with at all, sexuality, economic status, nationality, religion, and language. Now, this woman is coming on the dating profile in one of the most difficult dating markets in history to penetrate, and basically is saying, I'm a radical feminist, and you're going to have to deal with me flexing my muscles all the time if you're a guy that's going to be with me. So if you're not strong enough to be with me, then don't even try. Ma'am, I just X'd you off and moved on to the next. Plus, your pictures aren't showing up for some reason. That's a strange sign there. But that right there, what I just showed you folks, is probably one of the top reasons why men are not committing. This woman is coming off more masculine than feminine. There's nothing feminine about her flexing her muscles and saying, I am woman, hear me roar, and you better accept me and my equal rights and all this. I'm just as good as you, or I could be better than you, right? Okay, hey, that's a known thing, right? That is a known thing. It does not need to be flexed upon. And again, that is the number one thing that turns myself off and any other decent man like myself. So what's going to happen to a woman like this? Okay. What is the only type of man that's going to give this woman a chance? It's going to be the beta mon, because the beta mons don't have a spine yet. They haven't learned what this dating world's really like. And this woman, I wish you could see some pictures of her. She's probably pretty attractive, right? So she'll be able to attract the beta mon, right? And she'll be able to control the beta mon. And the beta mon might be okay with that, and he might get a little bit of sex, right? But what's going to happen after a while? This woman's going to have full control of this guy, thinking that is what she wants, right? Wants a guy to allow her to flex her muscles and to project feminism and all that, right? But after a while of this guy being a conformist, she's going to get bored. She's going to lose respect for him. Okay? She's going to lose faith and trust in his masculine core as a man. Why? Because he's a beta man, exuding more feminine energy than masculine energy, and she is an alpha female exuding way more masculine energy than feminine energy. The sexual polarity is flipped, right? I keep saying this, and that's the absolute truth. That's what happens nowadays. And that's one of the main reasons why the good men, and I'm not saying that beta males are bad men. Beta males, most of them are decent guys. They just don't understand their value yet. They just lack a lot of self-confidence compared to the alpha male like myself. And maybe they haven't experienced as much with women as many of us did in our younger days to understand modern day female nature and understand women like this, right? And the reason why women like this can come out and get away with saying something like that is because these beta mons, like I keep saying, 97% of the men in this world are beta mons. And they'll pretty much do anything for a woman, no matter what, solely on the fact that the woman is attractive, and these guys typically will not get a lot of attention from attractive women. So when an attractive woman gives him any type of attention or the time of day, this guy is basking in her glory like a sick puppy dog. That's what happens. It's exactly what happens. So here's how the show's going to go. I'm going to go ahead and switch on over to the browser source. And I'm going to go over this first Reddit posting. Then I'm going to take a break. And then I'm going to come back and go over one more posting and call it a night. Again, it's going to be a super, not super short, but a pretty short show compared to the ones I've been doing lately. It's going to be about an hour and 15 minute to an hour and a half show, probably no longer than an hour and a half or around that time. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns on YouTube, Facebook, or D Live, get them in now. And periodically throughout the show, I'll check for questions and comments and get to them. All right, we have one person on Facebook. Feel free to say hello in the chat if you'd like. And no one on D Live, and YouTube is clear right now. All right. So, what do modern men want in women? What do modern men want in women? All right. So, this is in response to an attached website, a blog article, which I already have open here. So let's go over to this blog article on the Live Science website. First time I've been here. I read this earlier. It was pretty interesting. It's pretty old, but it still applies to modern world dating. This was written by Sally Law, February 13, 2009. Let me zoom in on this and see if it'll zoom in better. There we go. I think that's better there. Okay. And let's read and see what it says. What do men want in a woman? Brains? Beauty? Vacuuming prowess? Well, we don't want a vacuuming prowess. It's not that we want the traditional housewife, like back in the days of traditionalism with the Ward and June Cleaver, Leave It to Beaver days. We want a woman that's smart. We do also want a woman that's beautiful. And we also want a woman that's more feminine than masculine. Not masculine, than feminine. We also don't want a woman to flex her muscles saying that I am liberated, I'm empowered, I'm independent, when it's a known thing. Ladies, you got to understand one thing. If you come across a good guy like myself that's well versed in modern day female nature and relationship dynamics, and you mention, I'm an independent woman, or you try to pull the feminist thing on me, that's going to automatically eliminate you. That's the truth, right? That's projecting. Now, I can understand women being emotional beings that respond to everything emotionally first based on how they're feeling in the present moment are going to be more prone to project, right? Right? And it's more natural and normal for women to project their insecurities than men, but still, understand, ladies, that the moment you project or assert your equal rights that you've had now for over 55 years, and you project your independence, that's the end of the conversation for me. So that's what men want. Researchers at the University of Iowa find that men increasingly are interested in intelligent, educated women who are financially stable. Well, yeah, they expect us to be financially stable, and because they're liberated and independent nowadays, we expect the same, right? And chastity isn't an issue. Well, this is the modern world. Both men and women are having sex, so we don't need to say anything more about that. But like I said in the past, if you're a woman that's probably been with more than 10 or 20 guys by the time you hit 40, that's in my opinion, that's too many. Just don't tell us if you've been with that many men. And hopefully you've been checked out and you're clean and have no diseases. These findings are part of a study conducted every decade since 1939, which asks participants to rank a list of 18 characteristics they would want in a partner on a scale ranging from irrelevant to essential. Included are such items as sociability. Oh, I definitely want a woman to be social. Be social, be friendly, be communicative with myself and other people around us, right? Whether they're people that we know, her friends, her family, my family, or if we're out in public, we're at the supermarket, she's friendly to the checker, the employees, other people around, etc. And good cook, housekeeper, as well as mutual attraction and love. Well, good cook, housekeeper, I think both the man and the woman should equally share in those responsibilities. So, like with my ex Dana, when we were together, we would equally share in the household responsibilities. And it worked well. And I actually enjoy household responsibilities. And when you have a man and a woman that equally know how to take care of the household, we'll each share in the responsibilities and things will get done faster, and then we'll have more time to just snuggle up and do other things, right? As well as mutual attraction. Yeah, there has to be physical chemistry on both sides. I don't have to have the absolute most gorgeous woman, but just a reasonably attractive woman that's height, weight proportionate and smells good. That's important. I've been talking a lot about personal hygiene lately. I think I'm going to do a specific stream on personal hygiene tomorrow. Let me know if you'd like me to do that. Mutual attraction and love, which came in first place for both men and women in 2008. In 1939, it wasn't in the top 3 for either sex. Why? Because in 1939, women were not liberated yet, and they were still dependent on a man for survival. So the main purpose of relationships for a woman back in those days was to find a man that could take care of her and provide so she can survive. Now women are independent, so obviously things have changed, right? Obviously. All right, let me check out the chat here real quick. Hey, Claudia, you're back again. Hi, Elias, it's me. I am cooking while listening to your show. When you talk about men and women, are you talking about any particular age, culture, economic status, etc.? Well, Claudia, that's a great question. So here's the thing. You and I come from Generation X, right? Okay, you're in your 40s like me. I believe you're in your 40s, if I remember correctly. You and I are pretty close to the same age. And so we're Generation X, right? We're one of the last generations that were raised traditionally, right? Then you have the millennials. You have Gen Y, millennials, and then you have Gen Z, post-millennials, also known as the I generation, right? And the millennials started the whole new trend, of the way things are. They started the hookup culture. They they, I guess initially, when millennials were first of age to work, they were having difficulty finding work. They've been raised differently. There are a lot more broken households um, that millennials grew up in compared to how we grew up in. You and I were raised more traditionally. Millennials are being raised more so in broken households, etc., because the divorce rates increased, and that has to do with women being liberated and having more options. This whole thing has been shifting this way, in my opinion, for the last 55 years, and now it's just becoming more apparent. Now you have the Gen Z, the I generation, that was born with a smartphone in their hand, and those young kids, they can't get these damn things out of their hands. So primarily, it has to do more so with the millennials, Gen Y, Claudia, and the current generation after the millennials, Gen Z, the I generation. Excuse me a second. But here's what's happened, Claudia and everyone else. Hey, Dream, I see you. Hang on a second, Dream. Here's what's happened. Gen Xers like myself and you, I'm not saying you or myself, maybe you and I are the exception. We handle things differently. But many Gen Xers, especially Gen X women that I've seen, are seeing what the millennials and the post-millennials, Gen Z, I generation are doing, and they're learning their bad habits. I'm seeing a lot of women our age, Claudia, and older, that are behaving like the millennials and post-millennials. And so, this whole culture that's been primarily created by women being liberated, no disrespect for women being liberated, but this whole culture that has, liberated women and was created because of that. In addition, you're now seeing millennial women and post-millennial women be raised differently. And they're being told by the system to go to college and get a degree and be more career focused than marriage focused or relationship focused, right? And so these women are hooking up with men throughout college, and they're getting with a lot of men and having fun, right? Right? And with the with modern medicine and, with the invention of birth control decades ago, and now you have semi-permanent methods of birth control like the IUD. You put that thing in there, it's good for 5 years. You don't have to even worry about taking a pill, and you can just have all the fun you want as long as you don't get a disease or you're with somebody that, as long as you're not with somebody that has a disease, right? So these women are going to college, and a lot of us guys like to call it, they like to ride the carousel, right? I'm going to call it the carousel, not the other word, because that'll get me demonetized, right? They have a lot of fun throughout their 20s. They graduate, they get their degree, they get their job. Then they want to get promoted in their job. Now getting into their job at entry level with their degree is still not good enough. They want to get promoted and be completely settled before they focus on finding the one, right? Because that's the way the system is indoctrinating women nowadays. The system is indoctrinating them. The government is supporting it. You have a lot of female empowerment groups that are brainwashing women, in my opinion, to do this. Now, it's not a bad thing for women to go to college. Go to college, get a degree, but why not date someone at the same time? And if you want to get married in your 20s while you're still in college, why would you waste your 20s when you're most fertile if you want to have a family? But that's what most women are doing. They're wasting their 20s, going to college, getting their degree, focusing on getting into their career. They still have a need for, companionship and sex. So they get on birth control and they have fun with multiple guys. And then they're in their early to mid 30s. And now they're realizing and they're saying, oh shit, my biological clock is ticking. I need to hurry up and find a guy to get me pregnant before I go through menopause. Claudia, I hope that answers your question. I went into extreme detail because I know you're not here all the time, but you're here quite often. But I don't know if you've heard me actually say that before. So let me know, and I'll check back in just a little bit. American Dream with the $5 super chat. Hi, everyone. The American Dream is in the house, showing support and respect to Coach Eli. What is that LR after that, bro? What's going on, American Dream? Thank you so much, brother, for the $5. Let me go back to full screen here real quick and add your donation, because I do show the YouTube chat on the screen. So if you're on Facebook and D Live, if you look at your screen, you'll see what's happening in the YouTube chat on the screen. So let's start off the donations, courtesy of American Dream's $5 super chat at $5. Whoops. There we go. Let's go back to the browser source and let's light up the donation tag on the bottom left. And I'll check back in on Facebook in just a few. I'm sure Claudia is going to respond while she's cooking dinner. All right. Male and female participants in 2008 rounded out their top traits with dependable character and emotional stability and maturity. Okay, I agree with that. You have to be dependable, you have to be loyal, trustworthy, and you have to be emotionally and mentally stable and financially stable too. And for me, be in touch with your spiritual side. You don't have to necessarily be religious. I do believe in God and I'm religious, but if you're spiritual, that's fine for me. I'm a very spiritual person, but I'm also religious, but I don't project my religion onto anyone. Men ranked intelligence 4th, a big jump from 11th place in 1939. Yeah, well, it's probably even higher for me. For me, it's about emotional intelligence. It's about emotional intelligence first for me, then intelligence, and then probably, physical attraction and financial stability and all that stuff, right? Because for women, they're emotional beings. They respond to everything emotionally based on how they're feeling in the present moment, and then they reason with logic. So for me, I'm looking to see how emotionally intelligent and how feminine a woman is, because that's her natural essence, being feminine and being emotional, right? And is she emotionally stable and secure within herself? In addition, good financial prospect moved to 12th place in 2008, a shift from its low 17th place in 1939 and last place ranking in 1967. Okay, well, times are changing. They have been. This is a generation of men who has grown up with educated women as their mothers, teachers, doctors, and role models, said Christine Whelan, head of the study and author of Mary Smart, The Intelligent Women's Guide to True Love, Simon & Schuster, 2008. And in tough economic times, sharing the financial burden with a spouse takes the burden off these guys to be the sole provider. Yes, that is true, but it also changes the dynamics of the marriage and relationship. Because at the end of the day, working is masculine energy. Being in the workforce and working, most jobs require both men and women to exude masculine energy. Now, there are some jobs that you see more females do, such as nurses. In my opinion, I would rather have a female nurse take care of me than a male nurse. But there are a few male nurses. But primarily, there are way more female nurses than, the male nurses, right? Let's see. And then, I already read that. Okay. The study's participants were college students from the University of Iowa, the University of Washington, the University of Virginia, and Penn State University. Like attracts like. I agree. So certainly the fact that we were polling college students would suggest that intelligence and education are going to be important characteristics, Whelan says. Another notable shift involves the significance of chastity. In 1939, it was valued more than intelligence in women. But in 2008, it was ranked the least important characteristic. That's because women are not only liberated in general, they're sexually liberated. And boy, are they taking advantage of it. And they are. No matter what they say, they are. They're having fun. They're hooking up in college. They're riding the carousel. Furthermore, It also was ranked the least important for men. Okay. Yeah. This coupled with the shared top 3 ranking for both men and women suggests a commonality that seems positively modern day. Okay. Details, what men want, essential characteristics, mutual attraction and love, that is true. Dependable character, yes. We want a loyal woman that's going to be faithful, and she's a woman of integrity. This is the most important thing, guys, to look for in a woman is her level of integrity. And the way that you're going to know if she has integrity or not is by how consistent she is with you. From the moment you start connecting, whether it's on a dating app or in person, if you go on a date, you continue seeing each other. Is she communicative with you pretty much daily? Okay. Are her patterns, the same? Or does she have a wishy-washy pattern? You can kind of tell after you spend a little time with a woman what her patterns are, and you'll be able to tell, if she's totally into you and being faithful and has integrity or not. Emotional stability, very, very important. Even though women are emotional beings and they're going to respond to everything, like I always say, emotionally based on how they're feeling in the present moment, there's still a point where when their emotions become too much to the point of where they're emotionally unstable. You want to be with a woman that is emotionally healthy and not unstable. Just because she shows any emotions doesn't mean she's not stable. That's normal for women. But there are some women that take their emotions to a whole new level, and that's unhealthy, and that's not someone you want to be with, guys. I've been with a woman like that in the past, and let me tell you, it wasn't easy getting rid of her. And it was a pain in the ass. Important characteristics: education and intelligence, good looks, and ambition. Yeah, of course. Desirable characteristics: good financial prospect, good cook, and housekeeper. Well, yes, we do want a woman that's able to cook and keep the house clean, but as a man, you should be doing half of that. You should be working together as a team with your partner to do half of that. Unimportant characteristics: similar political background. Yeah, I'm not really picking on politics unless there's a woman that projects, like, I wouldn't even mind dating a conservative woman, even though I'm slightly on the left, right? Or more down the middle. I wouldn't mind dating a conservative woman as long as she's not projecting that I need to be a Trump supporter when I'm not, for example. Okay? Chastity. Well, no woman is going to be a virgin that you meet nowadays. Maybe you'll find a few here and there, but it's very rare. In this case here, what's important to me and what should be important to most guys is, what is the body count of the woman you're with? If a woman reaches the age of 40 and she has more than a body count of 20 guys, and I say 20 guys, which is still quite a lot. I say 20 guys because in today's day and age, you have to date a lot of people to try to find the one. And in my opinion, as long as a woman is trying to date a man for the right reasons, that she sleeps with him to see if he's a good fit in that aspect, and it doesn't work out, that's okay. That's going to happen. But if a woman has been with 40, 50, or 100 guys or more at the time she's 40, that's disgusting to me. And that just shows her character, that she really doesn't want to settle. A woman that wants to settle is going to be happy with the same penis over and over again. That's the best way to put it. What women want: essential characteristics, mutual attraction and love, dependable character, emotional stability. Same thing as the man. Okay, that's cool. Important characteristics: education and intelligence. Well, it is important. Education is important, so is intelligence. Let's talk about education. Education is important, but the problem I see with women nowadays is they have a difficult time balancing out their school, their work, and their personal life. Women expect us to balance everything out, right? And men have always balanced everything out, right? we've always had a good work-life balance for the most part. And for those that went to school, we would balance our school, work, and personal life. But with women, even though women were known in the days of traditionalism to be great multitaskers, in the modern world, pardon my French, women have become shitty multitaskers. Women have lost, in my opinion, their ability to multitask. Maybe they haven't lost it, they're just choosing to not multitask. They're choosing to go to college and to work over balancing in a relationship. And they're saying we're going to put it off to the side and focus on education and getting into a career, which is not feminine energy. It's not. It's great that women are doing this and they're liberated and they're making something out of themselves these days. But biologically, this is not feminine energy, which is what most men want in a relationship. They want a feminine woman. They want a woman to be sweet, loving, and nurturing. They don't want to talk about work with the woman all the time or their work, right? Okay? Men typically want to talk about their work because that's what we've always done, right? Or men want to talk about other things, right? Or we just want to snuggle, or we just want to go to dinner, or we just want to laugh and watch a movie. Like, we don't always want to talk about the work stuff. So when I see education as an important characteristic for a woman, no problem, as long as she's able to balance it with her personal life, which most women in their 20s don't choose to do that, or they just can't do it. Desire for home and children. Okay, well, I've noticed a lot of women don't want kids. Some do, some don't. But most women nowadays are saying, you ask women in their mid-20s or in their late 20s that are just getting out of college and going into their career. And you say, do you want kids? You want to get married? Well, I don't know. It's like they're not women anymore. Women have always naturally wanted to have kids and a family and get married. Now these women just want to work. They want to go to school and work. And they want a guy to be around just to pay half the bills and help them with the household stuff. But they don't want to give the guy a family anymore. That's what I've been encountering. And another thing, what I've seen, I'll share more about this when I come back from the first break. But I'm noticing on these apps, the women in their 20s, it's funny. The women, like, I have my age range set from like in the 30s to 40s and 50s. I don't have my age range set for women in their 20s, but sometimes they still suggest me profiles from women in their 20s, right? And I couldn't believe my eyes what I was seeing over the past few days with these women in their 20s. A lot of them are at least very, very thick or overweight. A lot of these women in their 20s have gained a lot of weight. Very few of them are thin. And I'm beginning to wonder, what's going on? Do these women just not care about their weight anymore? And they're just eating whatever they feel like it because they know some guy will accept them? There are guys that will accept women regardless of how much weight they gain and stuff. Right? And these women, they're 20, 30, 40, 50. Some of them are 100 pounds overweight, and they're wearing skimpy outfits, and they're sticking their butt in your face, and they're bending over and showing you their big fat boobies on these dating apps, like it's the new style, like it's normal. Anyway, ambition, important characteristics. Okay. Well, in the modern world, of course, women that are liberated are going to be ambitious. They've been empowered to become ambitious. Desirable characteristics, good looks, that's one of the most important things to women nowadays is physical attraction. Refinement. Okay, I can understand that. Unimportant characteristics, similar political backgrounds. I disagree. I've seen many women say, if you're a Trump supporter, I won't date you. You know? I've had that happen many times. I put that I'm liberal, slightly left liberal, but I'm more down the middle. And these women are saying, I don't think we get along because I support Trump, and I'm assuming you don't, right? So this was written in 2009, remember? Things have changed by then or since then. Women do care. Nowadays, from what I've seen, they do care about your political party preference. Chastity, unimportant characteristics. Well, that's what they say. I think to a certain extent, women do care about how many other women men have been with that they're interested in. But us men, we know how to handle that. Now, I haven't been with a whole lot of women in my entire life, but if I was, it wouldn't be something I would just come out and say, okay, I've been with 300 women, which that's not the case. But, chastity, yeah, I mean, how often are you going to come out and ask somebody how many people they've been with? Okay? Like, you can kind of tell by a woman's behavior how many women approximately, or how many men approximately she's been with. All right, so let's go back and read a few comments here before we take the first break. We're at 46 minutes. American Dream, I'm so sorry. That LR is an American flag. Okay, bro. American Dream says exactly 100%. I don't know what you're talking about. Furthermore, American Dream on YouTube says, channel member and moderator, it is difficult being a male nurse sometimes because if you work with a lady, you want to provide a certain amount of boundaries. I could never be a labor and delivery nurse. Well, yeah, you're more like a caretaker, Dream, right? Heck, when I was in my 20s, I was drinking. Yeah. Well, glad you turned things around, Queen, and you've sobered up. That's a good thing. It's a very good thing. All right, let me check out Facebook real quick. Claudia says, I'm Generation X2, can relate to being independent and having a career, but I think it was because I saw a lot of divorce in the females of my family from previous generations. So it was mostly finding the independence in myself instead of depending on a man. Yeah, no, and Claudia, that's totally cool, right? Like, look, all women are technically independent nowadays. Some more than others, but they all want to be, right? And that's great on one aspect, but also from a relationship aspect in what attracts a good man to a woman asserting her independence is not attractive to any decent alpha male. The beta males, sure. The beta males will come knocking on your door like a sick puppy dog, but you don't want that. You want a real decent guy that's confident, but a cool guy that's not going to kiss your ass. Is going to respect the fact you're independent, but at the same time, that guy doesn't want to hear you say, well, I'm independent. Like now you're stating it here in the chat for example purposes. I understand why you're putting it there. I'm saying that, okay, if you were to come to me, let's hypothetically speak that we were going to go on a date, hypothetically speaking. If you were going to come to me and in a conversation say, well, Eli, I'm independent, and so I can handle most things myself. The moment you say that is the moment it would be over. I'd be turned off by that because I already know you're independent. I know women have risen up, and I respect women for that. I just don't want a woman flexing her muscles and showing off what she has, right? Do women like it when men show off? Then why are women allowed to show off nowadays and flex their muscles of independence? And when men show off a little bit, we get scolded for it by those same women that are showing off their independence. It's pretty hypocritical, but that's female nature. That's why women are emotional beings, and that's why they're the way they are. Claudia says, I agree. The world has changed and role models as well, but still marriage should be able to adapt to this new way. It needs to be 50-50. Both you need to make equal money. Both you need to participate in the household chores. And both of you need to equally respect each other as man and woman. That's the only way it works. Some men actually are very picky. They want the whole package. Sure. There are some men like that. But the men that can't be picky, Claudia, are the top 10% men. These guys can get anything just because of the way they look and the money they make and their swag and all that. Can you repeat the difference between beta and alpha males? I thought being independent was appealing to the opposite sex. Well, I'll let you know. Well, I'll let you know the alpha and beta thing in a second. The opposite sex thing, being independent. Yes, being independent is appealing to a man as long as a woman doesn't let it get to her head, and as long as a woman doesn't flex her muscle and say, I'm independent, dude. I don't need you for anything, right? When a woman says to a guy she's getting to know, like when I'm talking with a woman in the online dating world, and she says, I'm independent, right? To me, that's her saying, dude, I'm setting my boundaries now, and I'm letting you know that I'm not going to let anyone kick me down for being a modern woman, right? It turns me off. I already know that. Most guys already know that you women are independent, and we respect you for that. We just don't want you to flex your muscles on us. It's a big turnoff. That's what it is. As far as the difference between alpha and beta males, an alpha male. So you have like three types of guys in this community I used to be a part of, Claudia. And let me just do this. Let me go back to full screen, and then I'm going to take a break and come back and go to the comment section of this posting of this blog I just read. There are, in this community I used to be a part of called MGTOW, which stands for Men Going Their Own Way, there were three pills. There was the red pill, the blue pill, and the purple pill. So there are three types of men, okay? There's there are the blue pill guys, which we call blue pill simps. They simp to women. They bask in a woman's glory. They kiss a woman's ass. They are very overly compliant with women. And they put the woman first instead of putting themselves first. It's not, I'm not saying be selfish and not take care of your woman, but before a woman can respect you in a relationship, you have to respect yourself as a man first, right? And you have these guys that are conformists. They'll conform to every woman's wants and needs. These are the types of guys that when a beautiful woman gives them the time of day, they will do everything for her because they feel in their head and heart that they're not able to typically get a woman that looks as good as that. So they start to kiss her ass thinking that that's the way to keep her around, right? Those are blue pill simps. Those are beta males, beta mons. She's like, oh, I get it now. Yeah. Now, on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, you have the red pill guys, which are guys that have withdrawn from women permanently, guys that say the stove is too hot in this modern dating world of feminism and radical feminism, in this modern dating world of no-fault divorce laws, meaning that your wife can go bang 10 other guys while she's married to you, and if you're the breadwinner and she divorces you after 10 years, she'll still get half your shit, right? No-fault divorce, and they're very angry and bitter, and they withdraw because modern-day women are not like women used to be in the past, right? And so these guys are arrogant, pompous asses. If these guys still, let's say these red pill guys decide to still date, because some of them will date, some of them become what are known as MGTOW monks, right? Some of them become monk and don't date or get married again. But the ones that are red pill and understand female nature and have been burned by it, they're very angry and bitter men. A lot of them can be insecure about certain things because of what happened in the past, etc., right? But these red pill guys know about female nature. They don't kiss a woman's ass. They don't suck up to a woman, but they're very angry and bitter. And that's that. Now, the middle ground, which is a hybrid of the nice beta male guy, but with the confidence of the red pill, arrogant, pompous ass guy. But you're not a nice guy. You're a good guy. I like to say I'm a good guy because if I say nice guy, the stigma is nice guys finish last. So you're a good guy. You're confident. You're outgoing. You're assertive. You take care of yourself. You love yourself first. You don't put a woman on a pedestal. You don't suck up to a woman, but you're good to your woman. As long as she's good to you, you're good to your woman. You do nice things for her as long as she appreciates that and she does nice things for you as well, right? And the difference is this. You're not an arrogant, pompous ass. You're cocky, playful, funny. The best place to be for a man is cocky, playful, funny. You want to make your woman laugh. You want to crack jokes. Sometimes you want to talk smack a little bit about, female nature and stuff like that. And then just say, you know what, just kidding, right? So it's not about being arrogant, but it's also not being boring, compliant, and being a sissy. It's about being cocky, playful, funny, and showing your woman that, hey, you know you're a man, and you know that there's no woman that's going to derail your masculinity. And that's attractive to women, right? You don't come out and say, hey, babe, I'm not going to let you derail my masculinity, but you're going to exude that with your energy, and your cocky, playful, funny attitude is going to show that woman that, hey, you're a cool guy to be around, but you're a man and you're not going to be derailed. You're not going to let any woman, including the one that you're with, derail your masculinity. So I hope that answered your question there before I go on the break. Let me check out YouTube real quick here, and it looks like we're okay there. Okay. So I'm going to cue up some royalty-free YouTube music, and when I get back, let me just show you here. When I get back, I'm going to get into this subreddit, which is called Science, and see how the guys and gals responded to this article I just read that was shared in this subreddit to, incite some responses. What modern men want in women. And then, after that, I'm going to go into the Purple Pill Debate subreddit. And there's another interesting post. Women are complaining men don't want to commit. But what do you have to offer exactly? Do you think the problem is only due to men, or might also be tied to what the average modern woman has to offer? Well, the average modern woman has a lot to offer. But maybe it's not about what she has to offer monetarily or financially. Maybe it's what she has to offer mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. Yeah, think about that right there. All right, let me, yes, thank you. Yes, very interesting. Good info, Coach. Thank you, Claudia. I appreciate that. Thank you. 2 people on Facebook. To the other person that's not chatting, feel free to ask some questions. And when I get back from the break, I will check in on Facebook again. There was something I was going to talk about during the first part of the second segment, and it totally slipped my mind. If I remember, I'll discuss it. If not, we'll just get right back to it. So let me cue up some royalty-free YouTube music. We're going to get back over to full screen. And cue it up, baby. Cue it up. Boo-doo-boo-boo. 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 Just need a couple more here. One more. All right. Music is all queued up. I'm going to step away for, a little less than a 10-minute break, and we're going to get back to responding to that blog that I just read that was attached to a Reddit posting. So stick around. We'll be right Slow it down, slow it down. Queen, I see that you said beautiful background. Thank you. It's a beautiful woman looking at the stars and the moon and the beautiful dress. That's a feminine woman right there. That's beautiful. That's beauty. Woo! I feel good. I feel real good tonight. Heck, I always feel good. Yeah. Yes, baby. Yes, baby. Yes, baby. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Welcome back to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, live here on the Coach Eli Television Network, primarily broadcasting live on YouTube at youtube.com/Life Coach Eli. That's youtube.com/Life Coach Eli. If you're on Facebook or D Live and you want to get everything besides these live stream simulcasts, because I only simulcast my in-studio live streams to Facebook and D Live, you're going to want to come over to YouTube to get all the pre-recorded content from the past and coming soon in the future. I'm going to be creating some great content at 4K, 60 frames per second. I also have, I'm a monetized channel on YouTube, so I have a membership package where I have exclusive members-only content. There's so much more happening on YouTube. Now, if you do come to YouTube and you chat on my live stream chat or you comment below my videos, when the streams go to a replay or pre-recorded videos, if you use your real name, just understand you may get trolled and harassed by the court of public opinion. So if you're going to do that, make sure you're either ready for it or make up some fake name or create your account name to be different than your actual name. Just letting you know. But that's where all the content primarily is at. I love YouTube. I love all social media, but I think YouTube is the absolute best place to, create content. I know many people have a difference of opinion in that, but that's how I feel about it. So anyway, tonight we've been discussing why are men not committing and what do women have to offer nowadays. One more time, why are men not committing and what do women have to offer nowadays? I kind of explained it. Well, I did explain that at the beginning of the show during the first segment. So if you missed that, go back and check out the replay. But I'll just say this again. This is not about women having monetary things or not having monetary things to offer. We know most of you ladies do. Most of you are independent nowadays and you're working just like us guys have always worked. You're making really good money, just like most of us guys have always done, right? Okay. You own your own home or you have your own place, just like most of us guys have always had, right? So do you feel that as a woman, just offering that, your independence, is what's going to get a man and keep a man, right? That's what a lot of women don't understand, okay? So when I say, what do women have to offer nowadays, I mean emotionally. I mean, nurturing. I mean being supportive to your man in different ways than, ways that you now are able to do because you've been liberated and you're independent, right? And understand, once again, ladies, I want to be very clear about this, okay? Men, while we respect you being liberated and working and providing for yourself, that's not what attracts us to you. What attracts us to you is you being feminine and sweet and submissive and nurturing. We're not saying you have to be 100% submissive all the time, but you have to more often be submissive than be dominant. There are going to be times where women are going to be dominant. There are going to be times where men are going to be submissive. But in my opinion, from what I've seen, the only way a real relationship is going to ever work between a man and a woman is if a man is more dominant most of the time and a woman is more submissive most of the time. Okay? That's just the way it works. That's just the way it works. And if you don't believe me, try it out the other way. Let the woman be the dominant one most of the time. Let the man be the submissive one most of the time, and just see what happens. You ladies out there that are still single in your 40s and 50s, and some of you in your 30s, right? Okay? You've dated men like this, right? You've dated men like this, and they were really, really nice guys. You thought you really found a nice guy, and you had to dump him, not because he was unattractive, not because he didn't make good money, right? But because he didn't have a spine, and you perceived him to be weaker than you emotionally, mentally, and in other ways, right? That's the truth. It's not about a man being a jerk, but it's also not about a man being more submissive than a woman. That's the bottom line. Bottom line. All right. Let's get back over to the browser. Actually, before we get to that, let me check out the chat real quick. Let me check out Facebook. We have one person there. I'll check in on Facebook periodically throughout the rest of the show. We are already at 1 hour and 16 minutes. We're probably going to go to the 2 hour mark, a little bit longer than I wanted to be on, but that is okay. I've already eaten dinner tonight, so I'm good. I am good. Good in the hood, right? Yeah. Okay. Let's switch over to the browser source. And let's see the comment section and how people responded to this blog that was shared that I read before the first break, titled, What Modern Men Want in Women. What do modern men want in women? How was that considered a reliable study when all the participants were young men in college? That's a great point. Less than half the population attends college, and it's very likely that college-educated men are looking for educated women. Okay. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm looking for a woman that's educated. I mean, of course, any woman I would be with would have to at least have a high school diploma and have that kind of education. But honestly, you know, I firmly believe this. I may get scrutinized for this. College is overrated nowadays. You don't have to go to college to make good money and make something out of yourself. Quite frankly, you can run your own business online, like on YouTube or social media, and you can make a lot more money much quicker than any degree will get you. And plus, you know, going to college is going to put you in debt, a couple $100,000. So you get that dream job of being a doctor, right? And you're already $200,000 in the hole. Like 2 ex-girlfriends ago, the veterinarian I was dating went to the top veterinarian school in the country. And she had a half scholarship, but she was still in debt $100,000. And she was still paying it off years later. Is it worth it? For some people, maybe. For some people, not. But I don't judge a woman based on whether she's gone to college or not. As long as she, you know, has made something out of herself, has a good job, or started her own business that's successful, that's all good. This is a common problem with psych studies done by universities. If your only source of test subjects are the students that responded to free pizza if you come to the psych lab, then your results won't be very general. When you have to bribe people to do something, it's never genuine. I agree with you there. Certainly, there are psychologists doing statistically significant studies, but innumeracy in psych departments runs more rampant than it should. Okay. Yeah, I remember going along with a friend of mine who always did tests for money. I was quite surprised to find the entire cellar decked out with computers and testing cabins filled with poor 18 to 19-year-old students trying to make a few euros. I bet the results they get there are mighty representative. Okay, another good point. They acknowledge that near the end, it can still show a relevant trend, however, as long as the prior studies were done with college students as well. And that was written in 2009, and we're in 2021. What, about 12 years later? And let me tell you, folks, things have changed since that point significantly. And they've even changed significantly even in the past couple of years. Well, the heterosexual ones mostly want their penises in women. Well, that should go without saying, dude, but you gave me a good laugh, so I'm going to give you a big round of applause. Oh, that's great. That's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Give me a second here. All right. 2 people on Facebook. Who's the other one on Facebook that's watching? Feel free to chat. And I'll check the chat back. I'll check back into the chat in just a few minutes. All right. And plus 2, they don't want them to systematically run their lives. Yeah. I want these to be natural. I have 3. I'm not going to read that. That's ridiculous. Come for the D jokes, let's satisfy. Or the penis jokes, right? Okay. Give me a second here. Give me just 1 second here. All right. Well, I don't understand. What I don't understand is how these oft mentioned now, right? Short code, right? Women who systematically ruin lives have had multiple relationships, but there are nice and normal girls who never get asked out. No, they get asked out. But they get asked out by the guys that those nice girls don't want. Even the nice girls have lots of high standards nowadays. That's the truth. Crazies are often extroverts. Extroverts often appear confident and charismatic. Confidence and charisma are attractive qualities. Good point so far, I agree. The problem is that all this takes place subconsciously in us guys. So all we're generally aware of is that she seems attractive. And of course, crazies are often insecure, and insecure extroverts often take pride in their appearance and dress provocatively. Well, typically extroverts are not insecure. The introverts are the insecure ones, right? I'm not saying extroverts don't have insecure moments, but the people that are more extremely insecure or actually insecure are the introverts because they're more closed off. So they also tend to play up what they have instead of hiding their light under a bushel or just not bothering much. Sounds like projecting to me. Because they perceive other people to be better than them, and they have to project in order to make themselves feel better. It takes the wisdom that comes with age to learn to disregard the superficial subconscious sense of attraction and see through the screwed up person beneath, and some guys never learn to do that. This is why when guys are young, they often go for exciting but sketchy women. And it is only as they get older that guys tend to stop chasing sexy, extroverted nutters and instead look for attractive but emotionally stable women. Yeah, in my younger days, I used to be like that. Yeah, but also, in my 20s and my 30s, women, well, first of all, we didn't have these smartphones yet. Which is one of the most major issues we have nowadays, where people just have no attention span, right? But things had not been radicalized or moved forward, or had moved forward into what we're dealing with nowadays. So back even 20 years ago, 15 to 20 years ago, women were not flexing their muscles nearly as much as they are today. And I honestly think, and you folks in the chat can tell me what you think, I think one of the main things that's made, women and just other men project insecurities and flex their muscles, whether you're a man or a woman, is social media. Social media, and now with these smartphones having apps to these social media sites that initially were only available on, your laptop or desktop, like you have access to the entire world. You can go and put a picture out there and get 10 or 20 or 30,000 or 100,000 likes, right? And it's validation-seeking behavior too, right? And for many women, that satisfies them to the point of where, okay, I can just put pictures on social media and, I don't need a man. This is good enough for me, right? I'll talk to guys. I'll make them think they have a chance. But unless they're the perfect guy, I'll just keep talking to them and I'll just keep on putting pictures on my Instagram and getting the validation I need to feel good about myself. And that's that. That's what's happening nowadays. At least that's my theory. As you notice here in this forum, you're dealing with some, guys that are, kind of nerdy type of guys. So you're kind of getting the beta male, introverted type of perspective. You're not really seeing the type of guys in this forum that you would see in the Ask Men Reddit, where you have more of the confident alpha male type of guys. I'm not saying these guys are all beta, but these guys sound more intellectually stimulating type of guys, or more of the beta type of guys, introverted type of guys. I gotcha. Along the same lines, a guy who is a bad guy or a jerk can appear to some women as strong, tough, and confident. Some women learn, some don't. Well, the reason why women go for the bad guy is because they're tired of dealing with the beta males after a while. They give the betas a chance because the guys that they really want don't want them, right? So then they go for the most attractive looking and most financially successful beta male. But what the women don't realize is that the beta is not masculine enough for them. And eventually the beta gets old, so the woman's back to square one. And then they'll end up, in the meantime, till they find the guy they want, then they'll hook up with these bad guys for sex and stuff like that, or maybe date them for a while because that's what gets them off in the meantime. It's a placeholder, is what it is. I guess guys and girls are more similar than we think sometimes. Not really. I disagree with you there. This is a woman saying that. I disagree with that. Queen says, no, we don't want to hear the D jokes. Yeah, we're not going to go there, Queen. We've already been demonetized, but it'll get approved under manual review. All my streams been getting demonetized, and then I submit them for review, and they all get corrected, including the one from yesterday. They approved it pretty quick. Man, the YouTube algorithm thinks I'm just being nasty, and I'm not. But the human reviewer turns it around every time. It's all good. No big deal. Let's see here. I'd much rather date a shy girl with attractive read, thin and tall, black hair, body. Okay, it sounds like a hot, cute girl. The problem is that attractive girls are spoiled by male attention. Beta mons, beta mons, beta mons, beta mons, beta mons. Let me read that again. The problem is that attractive girls are spoiled by male attention. The beta mons put these women on a pedestal, conform to all their wants and needs, are typically guys that don't feel confident enough that they can get women that are that attractive. So anytime any attractive woman shows them any attention, these guys bask in their glory. And when 97% of the men in this world are like that, that's what creates the issue. That's why women, like I said a minute or two ago, can put a picture on Instagram and get 100,000 likes and feel enough validation to the point of where she doesn't have to talk to guys and get to know them to meet in real life. Or if she's going to do that, she's going to look for the very perfect guy and eliminate a lot of guys along the way because she's getting her validation fix online through these beta males, the thirsty beta mons. Their strive to clean up wealth stems from self-identification as attractive women. Their freedom, which you called extrovertism, comes from their social freedom and power. Okay. I saw many shy, ugly ducklings who, as they grew attractive bodies, became bitches. Right. I've seen that happen too. A lot of these women, like nowadays, they're out of shape, they're overweight in their 20s. I can bet you the majority of these women, by the time they get into their early 30s, they will work out, they will lose the weight, they will be hot, and they will play even more hard to get than they are doing now with an unattractive body, right? And it's just funny how these women are dressing in their 20s. I see them on these dating apps. They've got a butt the size of Alaska, right? And they've got a few rolls around their stomach area, but they're wearing low-cut shirts and short shirts and just, wearing something to tighten up their fat, right? They're wearing a lot of makeup and they're trying to make themselves look as sexy as possible while being out of shape. And they still get attention. That's how thirsty a lot of guys are. This is what's giving women the upper hand. The beta males are doing this. I keep saying it. It's the beta mons. Right, Queen? Right, Claudia? Right? Anyone else that's here? I, as a man, too slightly rose in the level of attractiveness over my life and became an extroverted asshole without regard for others. Also because of my subconscious revenge. I don't think you became an extroverted asshole, sir. I think you became a man that stands up for himself and is not going to put up with BS. You don't sound like the kind of guy that would be an asshole on purpose. You sound like the kind of guy that used to let women and other people, control you and kick you down and have their way with you. And now you're realizing what you're worth and you're standing up for yourself. Sir, I'm going to give you, before I do that, yeah, life sucks, but I like to be honest about this stuff. Dude, you deserve a huge round of applause. Yes, I really like that comment there. All right. And that's as far as I'm going to go on this one here. Let's go to the final posting here before we go off the air. We're going off the air in about 15 to 20 minutes, so please get your questions, comments, and concerns in the chat at this time, so I'll be able to answer all your questions before I go off the air tonight. Information Man Show's in the house on the YouTube side of things. What's going on, brother? Hello, everyone, says Information Man Show. Queen says, hello, Information Man. Information Man Show says, I agree with you. Thank you, brother. Queen is like, she has the crying out of laughter emoji. Okay, still one person on Facebook. Feel free to get your comments and questions in. All right, this next question is from one of my other most favorite forums or subreddits on Reddit, the Purple Pill Debate. The Purple Pill Debate. There you go, subreddit. The question posed: women are complaining men don't want to commit, but what do you have to offer exactly? And this is besides, in my opinion, your finances, your materialistic things. We're talking about emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically. Do you think the problem is only due to men, or might also be tied to what the average modern woman has to offer? My opinion, again, it has to do with the fact that women don't realize when they flex their muscles of being liberated and independent and show off how successful they are, that's the biggest turnoff to a man, even if the man is as successful or more successful than they are. I could care less about your house, your car, how much money you make, if you're not a good, loving, caring woman. Until I know that, I can care less what you have. Congratulations to you. You made something out of yourself. You have equal rights now. That's great. But what more do you have to bring to the table? Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. Not financially. We already know that. You're independent, right? As title asks, why do you think men are so resistant towards commitment? For the reasons I just mentioned. And mentioned throughout this whole show. As a man, I believe part of the problem is that being in a relationship is a great burden for a man, and it takes a woman with a lot to offer to offset that. No, that's not it. This is wrong. It's about one thing. Is the woman feminine enough? And does she care more about emotions and the connection spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally? Or is this all about finances for her and for you? Because a lot of women nowadays are focused on the money first. I mean, you have to be attractive. That's the most important thing too. If they're not physically attracted to you, you're out. But the next thing is, it's about the money instead of getting to know you. Until they know that you have at least as much resources as they do, like nothing else really matters, even if you are attractive. I say it is a great burden for a man because even though women experience similar difficulties because they're liberated, they're equal now, right? Right? Women want equality, they got it. So, of course, they're going to experience similar difficulties. I'd say men still hold most of the burden of performance. Well, that's how it probably should be, but it's not. It's equal now. And would otherwise enjoy casual sex more. Not true. Women love casual sex. They do it throughout college in their 20s. And then they realize, oh, I wasted my 20s hooking up with Chad and Tyrone, the Chad and Tyrones of the world. It was great. We had fun. But now I'm in my early to mid-30s. My biological clock is ticking, and no guy wants to talk with me. Because when they wanted to talk to me when I was in my 20s and younger and more fertile, I turned them down to bang Chad and Tyrone. I'd like to hear other opinions on the matter. Well, you just heard mine. And it's true. Queen Helen Casey, hello there, says Information Man Show. I had the opposite problem. Men wanting to commit way too soon. That is a problem. That's a thirsty, desperate Betamon. It took me a while to find someone who moved in a compatible speed. And even then, sometimes it just went too far, too fast. Ma'am, you can't have it both ways. You're complaining that you've had guys that want to commit too soon, and you've had other guys that moved in a compatible speed, but then they just went too far, too fast. What, ma'am? They wanted to have sex with you the first, second, or third date? Do you not like sex, ma'am? Like I've said before, if you're dating someone and it goes past the first date, and you don't have sex by the third date, it's never going to work out. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. I don't care if you say, oh, that just, it sounds like you're expecting something. No, I don't expect anything. But chemistry is either there or it isn't. And if it's there and both people are attracted to each other, why would they not want to go for it, right? However, I do see women complaining about that. Well, ma'am, I think this is a woman. You are complaining about it, and you're saying women are complaining about it instead of you coming out and admitting you're complaining about it, man. You just complained about it in the first paragraph of your comment. In general, they're just moving at a different speed too. Maybe you didn't feel it, man. The truth of the matter is, listen, women want sex, if not just as much as men, more than men. If they feel it for you and they're attracted to you, you're attracted to them, and they like everything about you, they're going to want to sleep with you when you want to sleep with them. When it's been there on both sides, there's been no problem, a woman and I, taking it to the next level between the first and third date. I've never, ever dated a woman more than 3 dates where there was no sex. Come on. They project their feelings on that man. Well, women are emotional beings. What do you expect? But if men project their feelings onto the woman too soon or in the wrong way, then they get ghosted. And it's true, it's a weakness. As a man, it's not your job to try and lock the woman down. Nothing wrong with also saying that you're having a good time with the woman and, that she's beautiful every now and then. But when you're dating a woman, the first 2 to 3 months, all you do is hang out, have fun, and hook up. Every so often, throw in a compliment. Hey, I'm really enjoying getting to know you. This is fun. Let's do it again. What do you say? Right? But don't bring up the commitment. That's the woman's job. When she feels comfortable, if she feels comfortable 2 to 3 months into the relationship, she'll ask you, hey, we've been dating for 3 months now. Where do you see this going? And I'd say, well, I like the way it's going. I like to keep it going the same way. Like I have no complaints. Well, what about you, babe? I mean, you brought it up. Why'd you bring it up? Well, I really like what we have, and I kind of want to make it more. Well, what do you mean by that, babe? Be more specific, right? Well, you know what I'm saying, babe, right? And yes, in my head I will know, right? But I'm not going to say it. She has to bring it up. It's her idea, right? No, babe. I play dumb in that position and at that moment. I'd say, no, babe. I can't read your mind. I'm not a fortune teller. I really want to know how you feel. So please tell me what's on your mind. Okay, babe. Babe, I want to make it official. I want to, I'm wondering if you're willing to commit to, I've enjoyed the last 3 months, babe. It's almost kind of felt like a commitment, and I have no problem continuing it moving forward. And, yeah. You know what, babe? If that makes you happy and you want to be committed, I'm all for it. Well, babe, are you doing that just for me? Or no, I feel the same way. Well, why are you putting it that way? Because, babe, you know what? I'm cool spending time with you. I don't have to have any fancy titles or anything to be happy with you. But you know what? I understand that's what you want. And I'm totally cool with that. I just want you to feel comfortable and be happy and not feel like you're being rushed or pressured. Right? There you go. That's it. Right? They project their feelings on that man. It is a compatibility problem, I think. It depends on how you define commitment too. Most of the women I've seen complaining were complaining about marriage and rarely about being in an exclusive LTR. Okay. Yeah, I find this is my issue as well. Guys want to commit way sooner than women, in my experience. I think that's what she means. INE. I hate this short code. I hate it. And there you are, Claudia. She said, I'm going to start observing who the beta men are and practice your advice. Okay, that's great. Well, I'm sure Claudia, I'm sure you've encountered them and they've automatically turned you off. You're just a little more well-versed on it now, right? You're going to be laughing in your head now. And you'll be coming on these streams and saying, yeah, Eli, I came across a beta mon, beta mon, beta mon, beta mon, beta mon. I need to create a beta mon song and let it go viral on YouTube. I am not going to brag that I'm independent anymore. Claudia, I remember when I first met you, I believe we had coffee. Oh God, where was it? It wasn't in Sacramento. It was like in Gold River or somewhere at a Starbucks. Do you remember that? And I remember when we first met, I was like, I could totally tell, like you were a strong, independent woman. And I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, this is business networking and stuff, but I could just totally tell that, you've been indoctrinated into this culture. And I'm like, this is a good woman. I hope, because we had talked about our relationship stuff too, right? And I think you were seeing somebody back then or something, and it just like didn't work out or something like that, right? Yeah, in Starbucks, Citrus Heights. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that like it was yesterday. I remember all my one-on-one meetings, right? And so here we are years later, right? And we're still single. Most of us are still single from those days, right? And now because of social media and all that, we have all this information. And we've learned more about why we're in this predicament. But I could tell I could tell you were a strong, independent woman and you took care of yourself. And I respected that. But at the same time, you didn't intimidate me, but I could tell at the same time how you can come off intimidating men, right? And I think we may have talked about it at our meeting and stuff, our business meeting. But yeah, that's cool to hear you say that. You're gonna start to notice it, right? You should see if a guy actually notices your independence and all that. And start being needy again. I'm not going to brag that I'm independent anymore and start being needy again. We have to work on what we can offer as human beings. Well, you are a lady, Claudia. Become a good candidate first, and then a good candidate will show up. Right. In Starbucks, Citrus Heights. And yeah, I was recently separated from my marriage. I was very depressed. That's right. Yeah. So you've worked through that. I'm sure you've worked through most of that, not all of that, since that time, right? Are you feeling a lot better about that? That's awesome. That is awesome. No, don't do that, says Queen. What do you mean, Queen, on the YouTube side? And Queen has those eyes. Those are the trolling eyes, right, Queen? The trolling eyes. Where are those eyes at? Let's see. EYES. Oh, there they are. I had to search for it. Give me a second here. I'm going to put at Queen Helen Casey's trolling eyes. You see that, Queen? If you're not on YouTube, it'll pop up on the screen in a second. I just typed something out to Queen. I put at Queen Helen Casey's trolling eyes with the trolling eye emoji. Queen keeps the YouTube chat safe and clean from all the trolls. But I've got great security. Also, the YouTube block words list and Nightbot security. So Queen says I see it. Yeah. Claudia says, yes, 6 years later, finally. That's why I'm listening to your advice, starting to go back to the love game, but with caution. Well, here's the thing, Claudia. Open up your eyes and but also open up your heart at the same time. And go out there and love like you've never been hurt. And just expect things to not work out, because most of the things won't work out. When you expect things to not work out or don't expect anything to work, that's when it'll work, right? Go out and have fun. Meet some guys. Meet a guy that you're attracted to, right? And have some fun, you know? I'm not saying go and sleep with a bunch of guys. I know you're not the type of woman, but hey, if you find a guy you're attracted to, you know, hook up with him, have some fun. Let him rock your world in the bedroom too, right? It may turn into something. When you put your guard down and you're laid back, guys are more prone to want to be with a woman like that. Even if a guy doesn't want to be in a relationship, if you're so cool of a woman and you make his life so easy and you're so easygoing and you're very romantic and sexual and loving and giving, right? That's what's going to get a guy. That's the truth. I'm being honest with you. That's what attracts me to a woman. All right, we're at 1 hour and 48 minutes. We're going to wrap this up in about 12 minutes max. I went about a half an hour over than I wanted to today, but it's worth it. Yep, guys tend to fall in love faster. So often they'll want to commit to a relationship first. That's because you ladies have so many options, and guys try to lock you down so you can get rid of all of your beta male orbiters that are, you know, on backup status. But it's typically the beta males that do that, right? Guys like me, I'm not going to try to lock you down. I want to date a good woman that can lead to a relationship. But I will date you as long as you want to date me and you're good to me, I'll be good to you, right? We'll have fun. And if you enjoy my company and in a couple, 2-3 months, you come to me and say, hey, uh, where do you see things going? Right? I like how things are going. Eli, I'd like to make this official. What do you think about that? Hey, I never thought you'd ask. Well, why? Well, because, I'm just having a good time. I wasn't thinking about the label or anything like that. I just enjoy your company. If you want to put a label on it, I'm cool with that. I'm also cool with keeping it the way it is. The bottom line is I enjoy being around you, right? Right? Well, I want the label. Okay, cool. Then you got the label, right? And then have fun with it. You're not going to come off weak, needy, desperate, insecure, and you're basically allowing the woman to feel it, and it's her idea. Guys, understand this. If it's the woman's idea to lock you down, or if it's the woman's idea to always reach out to you every day first, a woman that is reaching out to you first and it's her idea about the relationship is not going to dump you. She's into you. Your job as a guy is simple. Hang out, have fun, and hook up. One more time. Hang out, have fun, and hook up. Don't be like these beta mons. I think it's when it comes to the marriage commitment that you see men often slow down. You hear stories all the time about men getting red pilled. I was just talking about that. When they commit too fast, then getting rejected and blame it on acting beta. You see, Claudia, I'm glad you've been hanging around here lately because I'm not trying to tell you or anyone else what to do. You're really beginning to see what's happening here, right? And it's opening up your eyes to the point of where now you can put yourself out there and you know what you're up against. And when a guy behaves a certain way, you're going to be able to more so figure out sooner what he means, what he thinks, what he feels, right? Does that make sense? Claudia says, okay, I will follow your advice and keep you guys updated. Well, you do you. You don't have to necessarily follow my advice or anything. All I'm saying is that I've experienced all this stuff. I've read a lot about it. I've gone out in the real world and tested it out, and that's what's happened. But you do you. You do what makes you happy, Claudia. And like I mentioned the other day, at some point, maybe by later this year, we should definitely set up a singles event with the old networking group. I would love to set up that event in the Sacramento area. I'm sure we get a pretty good turnout, and I'm sure there are a lot of single guys and gals. It would be fun and interesting. All right. Let's read a few more here before we go off the air. No, it's because women have on average way more relationships than a man. So when a woman is in a new relationship, he's just guy number X. That is true. I agree with that. But the man had fewer relationships, so he's more excited and she's more special to his eyes. If you're a beta mon, I understand this. If you're an alpha male like me, I go on lots of dates. I talk to lots of women because I know how to approach and talk with women. So I don't have a problem getting dates or talking with women or getting numbers. My problem is I can't connect with someone at the level I want to connect with them at. Because the type of woman I'm looking for is very, very rare. But I'm not going to settle for anything besides what I really want. So you're right. Women have a lot more options nowadays. They're going on more dates. They're having more sex. I agree with that. It's true. In average, a man is basically like a minor girl who's very excited of her first relationship and wants to move fast. Well, that's a beta mon, dude. That's a beta mon. I'm confused. That's how you explain wanting to commit too soon or not committing? Yes, basically on the number of relationships you had. That's not a good way to look at it. If you had many relationships, you want things to go at a slow pace to have all the time to see all the red flags. But if you had very few relationships, you don't know the red flags to be careful. The partner is very special for you, even if she or he is just average. It's not about gender. Here's the thing. It is true. The more relationships you have, the more experience you gain. But whether you've had fewer relationships or you've had many relationships to the point of where, you've learned things and you know what to look for in the current relationship you're in, you should still treat the relationship the same. Get to know someone, but allow the natural flow of progression to take things where they're supposed to go. If you're holding back on being intimate with someone or moving something forward because you've had bad experiences in the past and you're looking for all the red flags before you take any chances, then that's unhealthy and you're not being genuine. And quite frankly, if you're a guy doing that, the woman's going to pick up on it, right? And she's going to end up leaving you, right? If you're a woman doing that to me, I'll pick up on that and I'll be gone. Now, if you're a woman and you're doing that to a beta mon, you'll probably get away with it because the beta mons will conform to anything. And that's what creates this whole big shit show, right? Yeah, that would make sense. In my case, it was men I was already in a relationship with, but were way too fast when it came to jumping to the next steps in the relationship, moving in together too fast, or proposing out of nowhere. I agree. I will not move in with a woman for at least a year. And I will not propose for at least a year, maybe 2. When it comes to sex, that's got to happen within 3 dates or I'm moving on. And that's how most women are anyway. So I agree. Trying to move in within a month or even 6 months or less is too fast. Proposing within 1 to 6 months, way too fast. You don't know the person. That's desperation right there. That's something a beta mon would do. Scarcity versus abundance. When something good is scarce in our lives, we want to keep hold of it. When we have more of something than we care for, we are not bothered so much. It makes sense, definitely, but a balance is possible nonetheless. I'm going to respond to this real quick. And then I'm going to go off the air, folks. So get your final questions, comments, concerns, and we are at 1 hour and 56 minutes. Claudia says, yes, that would be awesome regarding the singles event. I'll be in touch with you soon, Claudia. We're going to definitely talk. So, like I said, I mentioned this on the stream I did like last week or the week before. I can't remember. I was talking about having the abundant mindset. If you're a guy in this modern dating world and you're a social type of guy, you're extroverted, you're social, you're outgoing, you're going to meet a lot of people. To the point of where if one of your options in life, regardless of what you're seeking, a business, prospect, a relationship prospect, whatever, right? If one person doesn't work out, you have lots of other options just waiting in the queue, right? Now, guys, women do this too, right? The difference between women and men, in my opinion, when women have their backup status is that a woman's backup status never goes away. If she starts dating you and she's with you for 3 years, those backup beta guys are still there, right? As far as myself as a guy, I can have 20 women on backup status. And if I find the one, all 20 of those backup women, they're gone. I delete their numbers. I block them. They're gone, right? But that's just me. So what I'm saying is that if you go into this, especially if you're a guy, and if you're a woman too, yes, same thing, but women kind of already naturally do this. Men, this is how you combat, women having many options. You give yourself just as many options, right? Get on dating apps. You talk to lots of people wherever you go. You get lots of numbers. You have lots of prospects in the queue. And when you have lots of prospects in the queue, you're not going to come off as desperate or needy to try to lock the only one prospect that you may have. If you have multiple prospects, you're gonna behave differently. You're gonna act more naturally, and it's gonna come off as very relaxed and laid back to the woman. So go out there, talk to a lot of people, meet a lot of people, get a lot of numbers, and get to know people. And don't focus on trying to lock down one person and move things too fast. If you have lots of other options, you get to know all those people at the same time and at a slow pace, and eventually one out of those 20 options or so, or however many options you have, is going to pan out and be the one, because you're gonna come up more natural, not having the scarcity mindset of only talking to one person. Make sense? It makes sense, definitely, but a balance is possible nonetheless. I read that a second ago. All right, let's go back to full screen and start wrapping things up. We are at 1 hour and 59 minutes. I'm going to wrap this up exactly at the 2-hour mark. I want to thank everyone for being here. Thank you, Claudia, for being here. Thank you to Queen Helen Case for being here. Thank you to American Dream earlier for the $5 super chat, and anyone else that was watching behind the scenes. With that being said, have yourselves a great, great night, and I'll see you all next time. Take care. Bye, bye, bye.